The CBC News headlines, brought to you with the good wishes of Sagicor General. Wise financial thinking for life.
Hoteliers told to sign the MOU to show their commitment to buying local produce. A hardware problem puts a hold on pension checks. And in sports, Tridents end the Champions League on a winning note.
The CBC News headlines, brought to you with the good wishes of Sagicor General. Wise financial thinking for life.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Hello, good evening. I'm Lisa Broom. The agricultural community in Barbados is calling on the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association to sign a memorandum of understanding negotiated with government to ensure hoteliers use produce from local farmers. And the major players in the farming community say they are prepared to sit down with the BHTA and its industry partners to further discuss the issue and move forward on it. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, says it appears the BHTA is prepared to go it alone, jeopardizing the thousands of jobs in agriculture. He made the comments at a news conference at the BAS Grotto headquarters, which was attended by heads of several farmers' organizations.
The point that we essentially want to make and I want to emphasize in this particular press conference is the extent of the impact, of the likely impact, that the failure on the part of the BHTA and its members to sign these concessions would have on the productive sectors. We have seen a concerted attempt on the part of the BHTA to force the issue.
President of the Egg and Poultry Producers Association, Carlisle Brathwaite, is asserting that half of the industry is serviced by hotels, and the failure of the BHTA to honor the MOU would be a body blow to that sector.
And I would beseech the hotels to take this opportunity to sign off on this agreement, whereby we would be able to get as much satisfaction and comfort, because it's just a matter of comfort that you would have with them, whereby we would be able to maintain a standard with them. We have some of the best chicken in the island, not just in Barbados, but throughout the whole Caribbean.
President of the Sheep Farmers Association, Rommel Paris, believes local farmers can supply the hotel and tourism sectors with any produce they require, noting that Barbados products are as good in quality as any in the world.
The U.S. just banned the importation of all chicken from Brazil because it was cheaper. And they said, you know what? No, it can't come because the farmers here have to survive. So that's what we're trying to say to government. We're trying to say to the BHTA here. Come on, our farmers here have to survive.
Thousands of Barbadian pensioners are being advised to be patient as the National Insurance Department moves to fix a hardware problem that has significantly affected its computer network. CBC understands that the NIS processes pensions and other benefits for 40 to 42,000 pensioners each month and is working around the clock to resolve the issue. A source says a technical team has been mandated to rectify the matter, and the NIS is hoping to get pension checks in the hands of Barbadians sometime in October. Most of those checks are due from the 6th of next month until the 2nd of November. The threat posed by drought conditions has made boosting Barbados' water supply a priority for government in spite of limited funds. And it's for that reason, according to Environment Minister Dr. Dennis Lowe, that plans are still on the cards to build a new water treatment facility. He also says there will be greater focus on water harvesting. Earlier this year, Barbados, like other countries in the region, experienced a prolonged dry spell, which put severe pressure on the Barbados Water Authority to meet demand.
The Ministry of the Environment is now looking at building a leachate treatment plant, which will be treating not only leachate from the landfills, but will also be treating grey water up to a level where it can be reused for irrigation purposes and so on. to help supplement our water supply. These are the kind of things that we're doing. And of course, again, we're doing these things within the context of very harsh economic realities. And there's not a lot of flexibility in terms of what the government has to spend and where it has to spend it. And therefore, we're working very hard to make sure that these things happen.
The Environment Minister was at the time answering questions from the media after addressing the opening of a training workshop hosted by the Climate Technology Centre and Network. It's a follow-up to the 3rd International Conference on Small Island Developing States held in Samoa earlier this month. Meanwhile, Industrial Development Officer at United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Patrick Nussbaumer, is expecting requests for assistance from Barbados and other Caribbean countries to address issues related to climate change.
We do note that such workshops are instrumental in instigating the dialogue, and we have seen through the different workshops that we've conducted in other regions a flow of requests stemming out of such workshops. Through those workshops, we can explain to key stakeholders the operation of the CTC and what can be expected, what cannot be expected. And with that knowledge, stakeholders can go back to their own constituency, identify those priorities, and contact the CTC and with a request for technical assistance. So we are relatively confident that we will receive some requests for technical assistance from the region.
Barbados wants the social and economic vulnerabilities of middle-income countries like itself taken into consideration and not overlooked when it comes to assistance. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Maxine McLean, made it clear the criteria cannot be about GDP per capita alone. She made the point during the 69th session of the UN General Assembly. Minister McLean told the world body of the challenges Barbados is facing, brought on by the economic crisis.
We continue to suffer the devastating impacts of the global economic and financial crisis and have limited scope, capacity, fiscal flexibility, or policy space to respond effectively to them. We face declining export demand, decreased investment, and a contraction in services upon which our economy is dependent, such as tourism. Fiscal and financial stresses have forced us to make significant adjustments to our expenditure programs. Against this backdrop, we face the daunting challenge of continuing to provide adequate social safety nets for the most vulnerable of our citizens in a responsible and sustainable manner.
A police officer accused of trying to secure payment from a motorist to discontinue 2 traffic cases is out on bail after appearing in court today. Officer Rainier Romel Jamet of Lewis Gap, Green Hill, St. Michael is charged with abuse of public office. The charge stems from him allegedly demanding payment from a man caught driving without road tax and exceeding the speed limit on September 29th. When Jamet appeared in the District A court before Magistrate Douglas Frederick, he was granted $5,000 bail with 1 surety. He also has to report to the District A police station once a week. Jamet is expected back in court on January 27, 2015. We'll have more news ahead in just a moment, but first we want to hear from you on the question: do you believe the BHTA should sign the MOU to buy produce from local farmers? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the result for you at the end of the news.
Community Files.
Men, do you know enough about various sexually transmitted infections to protect yourself and warn your children? Are you struggling to be the father you would like to be? Do you need help controlling your emotions? Then, come to Man Talk, a workshop being hosted by the HIV Education Committee of the Barbados Government Information Service. It will be held on Saturday, October 4th at Sylvester's, Pelican Village from 2 to 6 p.m. Facilitators will be motivational speaker Tony Olton, HIV educator Shade Leon Folks, Parados representative Leroy Gibbs, and artist Damien Bobo Boyne. To register, call 426-2232 by Wednesday, October 1st. as space is limited.
The breast screening program of the Barbados Cancer Society, in association with CIBC First Caribbean International, presents Walk for the Cure, a 5K walk and run on Sunday, October 5th at the Garson Savannah from 4 to 6 p.m. There will also be entertainment and a kids zone. Registration for adults and children is $20, which includes a shirt. These can be collected from the Barbados Cancer Society between September 29th and October 4th. So come out on Sunday, October 5th and walk for the cure.
The nominees for the upcoming Barbados Visual Media Awards 2014 have been announced by the Barbados Film and Video Association. Ryan Broom has that story.
3 popular films are up for the Best Full-Length Film Award in the Barbados Visual Media Awards 2014. They are Chrissy, Payday, and Keeping Up with the Joneses, the movie. A total of 13 films have been nominated in various categories, some in multiple categories. Nominees for Best Short Film are Diaries of an Immigrant, Auntie, The Interrogation, and Going Beyond. The Best Television or Web Fiction Series nominees are Porgy and Murder, Keeping Up with the Joneses, and Into the Darkness. For the acting nominations, Best Actor nominees include Osvaldo Porgy Reed for Porgy and Murder, Damian Snapper Gibson for Payday, Clish Gittings for Going Beyond, and Adrian Franklin for Payday. Best Actress nominees include Michaela Harrison for Chrissy, Akasha Kunar for Diaries of an Immigrant, and Marcia Burrows for Auntie. The Barbados Visual Media Awards 2014 will be held on Thursday, October 16th at the Frank Collimer Hall at 7 p.m. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
Thanks, Ryan. The Ministry of Tourism could be looking at the creation of a tour guide registration and licensing regime. This is one of several recommendations contained in the workshop report of the Train the Trainers Tour Guide project for historic Bridgetown and its garrison. Speaking during the closing ceremony of that workshop, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Senator Irene Sandiford Garner, says setting up such a regime will call for careful consideration. She says cultural heritage tourism is now one of the fastest growing aspects of the sector. And Senator Sandiford Garner believes with the UNESCO designation, Barbados needs such a system.
It will result in a quality brand of tour guides who are well able to interpret our nation's natural, our built, and our intangible heritage to our local residents and visitors alike, and lending support to the creation of a Barbados Professional Tour Guides Association is important, where this association will, amongst other things, represent tour guides within the tourism industry, maintain standards of service amongst its members, and take disciplinary action.
With the holidays fast approaching, Barbadians need not worry as there is expected to be an abundance of poultry products for the Christmas season. In fact, Chairman of the Barbados Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation, Sean Tudor, believes the local poultry industry can meet the required expectations.
I can't speak on behalf of the poultry industry per se, but I expect that we will have adequate supplies of local poultry as usual. We BADMC do not import whole turkeys for Christmas. We don't do that, and we don't intend to issue licenses for that or anything like that or to assist with that. So the poultry industry, as they have been planning and preparing, and they would have geared themselves up to supply the market at Christmas, and I think it will go well for the poultry industry.
Poets and lovers of poetry were exposed to the work of New York's poet laureate Tina Chang. She did some readings at the U.S. Embassy as part of a 3-evening public event series in Antigua, Barbados, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ms. Chang has published extensively and has received many awards from the Academy of American Poets and the New York Foundation for the Arts, among others. She told the audience that she always knew she would be a writer.
When I was growing up, I knew I always had some sort of inkling that I would be a writer, but I spent my entire life kind of denying it because I didn't really have any role models for myself. And I didn't really know what that meant. You know, what do poets eat? Do they go shopping at the mall? What do they do? How do they act in the world? How do they behave? I didn't have those role models for myself. So I thought it would be a really good idea to just illuminate my path in the process of writing my poems. And I'm hoping that by sharing a part of my life, that will also clarify a lot of my poems, where I got the ideas from, what was my process in writing them.
Well, being among the last proved to be a good move for the winner of a trip for two to Italy. Carrie Stewart of Durance Terrace, Christchurch, dropped in her entry forms for Saul's most recent promotion in the final week. Now, she and her father, Dalton Selman, will be flying to Maranello, Italy, the home of Ferrari, the grand prize in the Saul competition.
I just got back from overseas from studying, so I've been applying everywhere, and Saul was one of the places that I applied. So when I got the call about, hi, may I speak to Carrie Stewart, please? I'm from Saul. I was like, ooh. But then he said, I have great news. And no one really calls and say, I have great news if you're coming in for an interview or anything like that. So I was like, okay. So then he told me, you won the grand prize. I was like, wait, what? I was in total shock. And then Kurt was like, you can scream now. I was like, because I was so shocked. I couldn't believe that I won.
Mohammed Imran Akoji of King Street, St. Michael, took the second prize of $4,000 in free fuel. Kurt King, said sales and marketing manager, said the company is pleased with the public's response to the 8-week promotion.
The response was phenomenal. Certainly, we've seen a level of gratitude from our customers by their business and by the memories that we've made with them. Certainly for the days that we've had the events, we've seen a lot of familiar faces coming back. We've been at Wednesdays and the happy hour, so we're very, very happy that our customers have responded, and we will continue to deliver back to them.
Regional news up